Welcome to the UPSC Dream Series. In today's explainer, we're diving into the blueprint of ecology, building it right from the ground up. This is such a critical topic for your exam preparation, and I promise you'll leave with a rock-solid understanding. So, let's start with a big question to get us thinking. How do you even begin to make sense of all the incredible, complex life on Earth? Well, ecologists have a system, a clear structure, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack together today. Here's our roadmap for this session. We'll kick things off with life's grand structure. Then we'll get into the rules of the ecosystem. After that, we'll look at Earth's amazing recycling program, and we'll wrap it all up with a tour of major ecosystems, paying special attention to India.
Okay, let's get right into it. Section 1, Life's Grand Structure. We're starting with the absolute basics, the fundamental building blocks of ecology. This pyramid right here is our visual guide. It shows how everything is organized, starting with a single individual organism and scaling all the way up to the biosphere, which is basically every part of our planet where life exists. So let's break down some of the most important levels. Moving up from one individual, we get to a population. It's pretty straightforward. Think of all the Bengal tigers in the Sundarbans, or maybe all the deodar trees in a specific Himalayan valley. It's a group of the same species in the same place at the same time. Now, take that tiger population, add in the deer population, the trees, the insects, every single living thing in that area. And what you have is a community. It's the whole web of living or biotic interactions happening in one spot. Now, for a really fascinating concept, the ecotone. This is a transition zone, right where two different ecosystems meet, like a mangrove forest, which is the perfect bridge between land and sea. These zones are often hotspots of biodiversity because you get species from both ecosystems living there. This is called the edge effect, a key term you'll want to remember. And to wrap up this section, let's talk about the niche. A niche isn't just an organism's address, it's its profession. It's what it eats, how it interacts, its unique job in the ecosystem. And here's the crucial takeaway. No two species can have the exact same job in the same place. This idea is so important for understanding conservation. All right, Section 2, the rules of the ecosystem. We've got the structure down. Now let's look at how life's engine actually works and changes over time. This slide does a brilliant job of showing ecological succession. That's just how ecosystems develop over time. On the left, you see primary succession. This is starting from absolute scratch, like on bare volcanic rock. It's an incredibly slow process. But on the right, you have secondary succession. This happens after something like a forest fire. And what's the key difference? The soil is already there, which means the whole process is much, much faster. So energy flows through an ecosystem, and we can think about it in two ways. You have a simple food chain. Grass is eaten by a deer, which is eaten by a tiger. It's a straight line. But in reality, it's never that simple, is it? That tiger might also eat other animals. This complex, interconnected network of all the possible paths is what we call a food web, and it's a much more realistic picture. These are ecological pyramids, and they help us visualize the structure. This one, the pyramid of numbers, just counts how many individuals are at each level. In a grassland, it's usually upright. Lots of grass, fewer deer, even fewer predators. But look at the picture on the right. Sometimes it can be inverted. How? Well, imagine one single massive banyan tree supporting thousands and thousands of insects. See? The base is just one, making the pyramid top-heavy. Now, this is a point I really want you to remember. While pyramids of numbers or biomass can sometimes be inverted, the pyramid of energy is always upright, no exceptions. Why? It comes down to basic physics. Every time energy moves up a level in the food chain, a huge chunk of it is lost as heat. The transfer is just not efficient. So it's literally impossible to have more energy at a higher level. This is a fundamental rule of all ecology. So Section 3, Earth's recycling program. Okay, we just established that energy flows in one direction and then it's gone. But what about the actual stuff that life is made of? You know, the atoms and molecules. Well, that gets recycled. Let's explore these incredible biogeochemical cycles that make life sustainable. First up is the one we all know and love, the water cycle. It's driven by the sun's energy powering evaporation, condensation, and rain. You can think of it as the planet's circulatory system. It doesn't just move water, it moves vital nutrients all around the globe. Next, we have the carbon cycle. Carbon is the backbone of all life on Earth. Just follow the arrows here.
It gets pulled out of the atmosphere by plants through photosynthesis, travels through the food web, and then gets released back through respiration and decomposition. And as you know, knocking this delicate cycle out of balance is the main driver behind climate change. And finally, the nitrogen cycle. The air we breathe is almost 80% nitrogen, but here's the catch. Most living things can't use it in that form. So who are the heroes of this story? Bacteria. These amazing microorganisms perform nitrogen fixation, converting that atmospheric nitrogen into forms that plants can actually absorb, making this essential nutrient available to the entire ecosystem.
Okay, Section 4, a world of ecosystems. We've talked structure, rules, and recycling. Now let's apply this knowledge. We're going to take a quick tour of the world's major biomes and then really zero in on the Indian context, which is obviously vital for your exams.
This table gives us a great, quick comparison of the major land biomes. A biome is just a huge region defined by its climate and the plants that grow there. So you've got everything from the frozen, treeless tundra all the way to the hot, dry desert with its amazing drought-resistant plants, and of course, the incredibly biodiverse tropical rainforests. Now, let's focus on our home turf, India. This map, based on the famous Champion and Seth classification, is absolutely essential. Just look at the incredible diversity of our forests. You can see the deep greens of the tropical wet evergreen forests in the Western Ghats and the Northeast, and how different they are from the temperate and alpine forests way up in the Himalayas. Understanding this distribution is a huge plus. And now let's do some rapid-fire facts that are high yield for your prelims. Get ready. Nilambertique from Kerala? It's the very first forest product to get a GI tag. Shola forests? Those are the unique, stunted mountain forests you'll find in the Nilgiris. And red sanders? That's an endemic tree found only in the tropical dry deciduous forests of Andhra Pradesh. These are the kinds of details that can really make a difference. So, we've journeyed from a single organism all the way to the global biosphere. This brings me to one last question, a thought for you as future civil servants. Knowing just how deeply interconnected all these systems are, what do you think is the single most effective action you could take to protect the niche integrity of an ecosystem? It's a critical question to think about. Thank you so much for joining this UPSC Dream Series Explainer. If you found it helpful, please do like, share, and subscribe. And make sure you turn on that bell icon so you don't miss our next video.